Hello, this is part of a short series on how to turn a 3D model into a functional VTuber avatar. This is part 3, which will focus on what you need to do to customize your model in Unity and export for VCFace. So as you can see here, this is the model we imported last time, and then we are just going to select it in this hierarchy window, go to VRM0, and then press export to VRM0.x. So it will give you this window, and then there is a box called lang, which stands for language, and then you can switch it to en, and then it requires the title, version, and author. You can actually just fill in whatever you want here. This is just going to be like the name of your model, and then version you can actually type anything here. I'm just going to type a date, and then author is me, Laika, and then we're just going to hit export. So what you see here is going to be your project structure, but it is best to create a folder for that. So we're just going to do that and just say VRM assets. Now this is going to be more helpful because there's actually quite a few folders and files that it's going to export, and it's just nice to keep it all contained. So just go to export. So as you can see here, it says VCFace example 3 up here, and then you want to go to assets, and then just find the folder that you have created. We have made VRM assets, which is currently empty, and now save. So now that we have finished that, we can go ahead and delete this, and then go to the folder to which you have put all the stuff just now, and then just choose this thing and then drag it out. And as you can see, it has completely messed up all of our shaders, but don't worry, because what you want to do is you go and find a folder called materials, and that's actually storing all the materials that's going onto this here mesh. So we're just going to delete all of them because those are currently useless. And then our model is going to turn completely pink, and what's happening is actually here, if you go to this the second one, which is supposed to be the name of your mesh, and then what you'll find here in materials is that all of the materials are missing. So you can start to kind of fill them in. What I like to do is go to the folder named my character, and then you should have a materials folder right here. Go to here, shift select all of them, Control D, and then you can then just drag it into materials. So here you can start to insert your textures here. Unfortunately, it doesn't really give the original material names here, so sometimes you just have to guess, and then it's just a whole lot of trial and error and whatnot. So now that we have finished setting up the materials, we are going to make further progress by selecting this in the hierarchy, and then coming to the inspector window right here, scrolling down, and then we will find this, which is called VRM look at head, and then this is going to control basically the eye movement. We're just going to go to this bracket called head, and then you want to go to here where you may have named your skeleton something else, but mine is just called armature, and this actually stores your whole skeleton bone structure right here. So I'm just going to go find my head bone, and then as you can see here, this is my head bone, and the I.L and I.R bones are parented to it. So I'm just going to use that, come back here, scroll down to VRM look at head, and then click and drag it over, and that's going to take care of your eye movement. For the target, you don't need to put anything in the target. So now that that's done, we are going to go ahead and prepare our face blend shapes, which will be responsible for our mouth shapes and also some basic expressions, if you recall. So we are going to select this, and then go down here, and then you will see something called VRM blend shape proxy, and then you can see this bracket named blend shape avatar. Double click on this, and then it will bring you to this interface right here. So I'm just going to walk you through this. Don't mind the fact that this one has no texture. That was broken just now. So we are going to go ahead and start setting this up. So up here, these button things, these correspond to what action is going to take in VCFace program, I guess. And down here is, you should see all the names of the blend shapes that you have created in Blender. So first of all, we're going to do these. So these are syllables that it's going to use to determine what mouth shape it's going to use when lip syncing or when you are making shapes with your mouth. So A, we're going to choose A, and E, we're going to choose E, because this isn't actually red I, it's red E. It corresponds to I think Japanese syllable. So U actually sounds more like the OU sound, and then E sounds more like IH, and then should be OH, so O. Just going to check this here, and that's done. So we are going to move on to blink, which is blink left and blink right at the same time, both eyes closed. And then joy, we didn't make that. Angry, you can choose that if you have made that expression. Sorrow, we're going to choose sorrow. And then there's fun, look up, look down, look left, look right. We're not going to use these. Maybe you did fun, then you can use that. And then blink L, of course that's blink left. And blink R, which is blink right. So these are the basic ones. Okay, so next we're going to set up some extra blend shapes. So if you want to make them, just hit this button, says create blend shape clip. It will pop up this window. Then you just enter the name of the blend shape. So these are the names that VCFace supports. Surprise. There's a D. It's a past tense. Surprised. Surprised. Save. And then click that. And then just get your surprised blend shape here. And then next is browse up. I think you need this specific capitalization, though I'm not sure. So browse up, B capitalized only. And then you just go and get your blend shape that says browse up. And then browse down naturally. There we go. Next we're going to get all of the extra mouth blend shapes. So SIL, this is for silent actually, so we're just going to go get this, and then we're gonna go get the rest. So CH, DD, FF, PK, and PP, R, and then SS, and then TH. Also make sure that you capitalize all of them. And lastly, because I made that specific blend shape so that my glasses could go away, we're going to name something like glasses off, and just jack it up to 100. And now we have finished setting up all our blend shapes. Okay, so next we are going to do VRM spring bones. If you don't know what that is, basically it's anything that you need to look like has physics. So for example, this piece of wire on my head is a VRM spring bone controlled thing. Come over to the item, and then come over to whatever you have named your skeleton. Mine is named armature. And then we're just going to find the bones for this plug over here, which I have named plug.001. And as you can see from the hierarchy, it's just a chain of bones that will control the wire as well. So as you can see here, we're just going to choose the bone that is where the wire is starting, which in my case is plug.002. And then we can go to add component. Then here we can search for VRM spring bone. And that's going to give you this component right here. And just a note, this will control the physics of spring bone for all of the following bones, so you don't have to put this component here in every consequent bone here. So I'm going to introduce two settings. So stiffness force is going to control how stiff the chain is going to be, and drag force is going to control how much the components of the chain will try to lag behind the movement of your avatar. So I'm just going to leave it as default. And then you want to go over to root bones, and default is 0, but you want to set it to anything above 0. So just go 1. And then you can go ahead and pick one of those to plug it in. And then what you will see here is it actually selects the entire chain of bones after that, so you don't have to put all of the individual bones in. So in this case, just one works fine. So you can actually start testing your spring bones right here in the Unity engine. So what you want to do is hit this play button up here. Now that's going to put you into the game mode, but you don't want that, you want the scene. And then as you can see, I'm moving the hips, so the entire body is going to move along it. And right there you will see the physics being in action. But just as a rule of thumb, just don't change anything while in game mode, because none of those changes will remain after you exit the game mode. So don't go into here and change the settings, because those won't stay after you exit the game. So after that, I can click the play button again, and that's going to put us out of game mode. And then as you can see, even though I moved the avatar just now, it didn't move in the actual scene. Okay, so now that we've finished dealing with our materials, our blend shapes, and our VRM spring bones, now we can finally export all of this to VCFace. So just click on this in the hierarchy, and then go to VSFSDK, export avatar bundle, and then just pick any folder to export your stuff to. I'm just going to name my exported file whatever I want, and then press save. So now this is going to generate a file that VCFace can use. Well, congratulations, you made it. Now you'll have a VCFace avatar, and next video will just be a short introduction to some basic settings in VCFace to get you going. So have a nice day.